Hello, Daniel Creel here with VC Golf, and today I am going to be continuing to compare the GC Quad, which is one of the most trusted units on tour and in people's houses across the world. And I'm also going to be comparing the Unicore IXO and seeing how closely they match. I'm not saying that one's better than the other, or one's worse than the other, or one's more accurate. Basically, all I want to do is just showcase. Again, we know the GC Quad is very, very accurate. The tour guys wouldn't use it. I've used it myself outdoors, and the yardages are very, very close. I trust it. I do a lot of club fittings with it. And really what I'm trying to do is showcase the Unicore IXO. It's a little bit different of a unit. It mounts to the ceiling. So again, it's out of the way. It's a little bit different than the GC Quad that sits on the ground, which again, GC Quad or Foresight has a unit that mounts to the ceiling called the GC Hawk, I believe. But again, for the price range, you get a lot with this Unicore IXO. So I did a comparison with irons. Again, I think, just going off knowledge on that comparison, out of all the clubs through the bag, from chipping all the way to a 5-iron, which I hit about 205 to 210 yards, so anywhere from 2-yard pitch shot to a 210-yard shot, the most that these were off, or the difference, was 2 yards. So that's a lot. I mean, it's not a lot. That's just a lot of shots that showed a lot of consistency. So we're doing really good. So today I'm going to compare a 3 hybrid, a 3 wood, and a driver. So that's when these units, when you say if you had 10 different launch monitors, the slower the ball is going and the slower the swing, they're going to be really close and clustered from what I have found. But what I also find is the faster the ball speed and the club speed gets, they start separating and you get a lot of different numbers. And hey, which one's more right? Which one's more accurate? What I look for in a launch monitor is, again, we're hitting indoors. We don't know which one is actually more accurate, but what we can see is the consistency of the numbers. Am I getting the same type of numbers over and over and over? Again, yeah, they may not be exactly right to what you're doing outdoors, but again, if there's consistency to the unit and the way it's reading your swing and the ball speed and all of that, then you can probably count on that, and at least you can get some really good feedback on that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a 3 hybrid. And for anybody's interest that cares what I'm hitting a Apex, Callaway Apex Pro 20 degree with the DI 85 gram stiff flex. So that Tour AD DI. This thing is hot, by the way. It is very, very long. If you hit it well, right? So we'll see what we can do here. It's a little hilly, wasn't hit very good. Let's see how these numbers compare. It's a 3 hybrid. 218-yard carry on the IXO, 219-yard carry on the GC Quad, so super close. Side total was around 7 yards on the GC Quad, around 10 yards on the IXO. So again, I'm getting very similar results. 220 yards down the fairway, actually 230 yards with roll. 230 yards with roll, and I'm only off a couple of yards. So that's really, really close. Ball speed, let's check that out. 142 versus 141.2, and club speed's a little bit lower on the IXO, which again, this club actually has the dots on it, the Fiducials. It's made for this unit. I'm not going to take them off because I've been working with this club. But again, so the IXO has certain stickers that works better with it. The GC Quad has it, so you can't really compare that data. But the ball data, the ball speed, you can see it's really, really close. Launch angle 11 degrees on the IXO, 11.5 degrees on the GC Quad. So really, really good numbers. Only off 200 RPMs on backspin, and side spin is right next to each other, 400 and 400. Let's go ahead and hit another one, see if we can hit a better one. Typically when I hit this good, I carry it around 235 or so. You can see I'm 15 yards short of that on that last swing. was a better swing. Left it out a little right, but it was better contact. Look at that. 236-yard carry I can already see on my IXO, so that was about where this club lands. And I'm 244, which that hit was pretty good. I would say I'm closer to 240 on that. So we got a little bit of difference, 237 and 244, so we're off 7 yards, which again is not a whole lot when we're talking about 250-yard shots. Again, I don't know which one is more right or which one is more wrong, but let's see if we can pinpoint what's different. So backspin is the exact same, 2400. Side spin, basically this is straight. I mean, 50 RPMs right, 29 left. One read a little baby fade, one read a little baby draw. It's basically a straight shot, as you can see on both screens, so I'm not too worried about that. Both of them started out around 2 degrees to the right. Ball speed. So the GC Quad calculated my speed about 2 miles per hour more, and that's where the difference is. So it gave me 141 versus 139 on the IXO. So again, very, very close, right, for 250-yard shot, because that went 264, 255. Another clean hit. Let's see where that one goes. So 237 carry. So this is what I'm talking about. So I hit 2 really good shots on the IXO. It read 237. So again, I don't know which one's more right, but let's look at it. So the last 2 swings I've hit solid shots and they read 237, 237, 244, and 242 on the GC Quad. So again, I don't know the algorithms behind the scenes on how they calculate the total carry and the total roll and all of that stuff. But what I pay attention to is the consistency of the unit. And both of these units consistently spit out similar numbers when I hit the ball good. I will say this about GC Quad, and you're going to see it when I compare the GC Quad to a radar unit later on. I'll do another video on that. But once you start getting below 2200 RPMs with the GC Quad, the distance does seem a little bit exaggerated, the carry does. And the Unicore IXO uses the GC Quad as kind of its benchmark, so the IXO does the same. So once that spin starts getting sub 2200, you see a little bit of abnormal carries. But anyway, we'll get into that. So I'm going to hit 3-wood now. So this 3-wood is a Sim Max 2 15 degree, and I have the Hazardous Smoke 6.0 shaft, and it's tipped a ½ inch. I play all my clubs about a ½ inch short on the butt section, and I tip most of them about 1/4 to a ½ inch to get a little bit more stiffness in them. Go there. We're going to go fairway wood. All right, so let's hit 3-wood. A little bit of a toe. It was hit kind of solid. I mean, it was hit fairly solid, but it was off the toe, and you can see that thing hooking a lot. Just to give you a little information, the lower the spinning club, so your driver, 3-wood, hybrid, and the more off center you hit it, it doesn't take much to start curving it. So again, I felt like I made a good swing there, and just contact was a little off, and that thing just rope hooked. But let's see here. So 154 mile an hour ball speed, 153. So we're looking at nearly the same carry. 256 on the IXO, 261 on the Quad. So again, a difference of 4 or 5 yards. Again, which one is more right? I have no idea. Look at the backspin. The backspin readings are really close, 2,800, 2,700. Side spin, 5,500 versus 6,300. So, or 638 and 550. So, again, look at this. Total yardage is 280 yards versus 275. So we're all 5 yards, nearly 300 yards down the fairway. I just think that's super accurate. You can't go wrong with either one of these units. And again, the consistency is really, really good on both of these. let's see, I'm offline 30 yards left, offline 22 yards. So 8 yards more left on the GC Quad than the IXO. Again, don't know which one's more right, but let's hit another one. Another toe swing. So I'm not hitting it solid at all. And here's our first misread. So I'm kind of glad I got this on here. I don't have it happen much, but they are launch monitors. And every now and again you get a misread. I will say this. I've maybe only seen one weird read on the GC Quad. On the IXO, out of every 150 shots, I may get a random read. So it's not very often for in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about launch monitors, to have one misread here and there is crazy. So I do want to show this. So that only showed it carried 205. Again, I didn't hit it good, but I know I carried it more than 205. And I did hook it because I towed it just like the last swing. And that went 242, which is about right. I hit it more off the toe than the first one. So again, a major misread here. Backspin 6,800 versus 2,400. But again, so it is possible. I will say this too. My IXO unit is mounted 8.5 feet from the turf. That is not recommended by Unicor, and if I told them that, hey, I'm getting these misreads, they would tell me because it's my mount too close, which probably is. It needs to be further away to capture the fast-moving ball. So again, that is just my height for my ceiling is 9 feet. I had to raise the turf up about a ½ inch to an inch. Plus the mound is about 4 or 5 inches low. So again, that puts me at 8.5 feet from the unit to the ball, which again is probably why I get some misreads more than I should, which again, I don't get very many. So there's your misread. I don't want you to judge the unit off that misread because again, I have mine mounted too low. If you're within that 9 and 10 foot range that they recommend, you probably won't get the misreads. There's a center strike. That one was hit good. So I'm glad I got that one. Let's see how it does. So that's how you're supposed to hit a 3-wood right there. About 270 yard carry. So 266 yards on the GC Quad, 266 yards on the IXO. So there you go. And again, I will say this on the misread on the last one, the more you hit it off center, the harder it is for the unit to probably pick up the ball, and because the club's moving around a lot, that torque in the club. Again, I don't know if that's really what it is, but I do notice when I hit one really off center, every now and again that's when I get the misread. It's not on center strikes. Dead center strike here. Let's see, and I can show you that. See, look at that. Just a hair favoring the toe, but it was pretty much in the center of that club. So again, 266 yards, so 2588 backspin on the quad, 2,500, and that's only off 10 RPMs. That's super close. That's super close. Launch, 13.7, so 14 versus launch 14, so 14 launch. I pushed it 0.4, 0.5 there, I pushed it 0.9, so again, I got the exact same outcome. Look at the total yardage, 285 versus 285. I mean, how much closer do you want a unit to read? So again, these units are super, super duper accurate, and they're super consistent. So let's go to driver. And this is where you get all the discrepancies between units. They start separating and getting further and further apart, and this is where you get, when you spend less money, typically you get a crazier, wackier number, and you start losing consistency when you get to this bad boy. So let's see how these units do. About fell over. I hit it good. I'm getting old. I did try to crunch that one for you guys, trying to show off. All right, let's see here. So 288 yard carry. Carry 287 yards. A difference of 1 yard with a driver. Is that not crazy? Ball speed, 160 versus 160. Club speed, it shouldn't be getting club speed. It probably caught some glare off the driver, but again, I don't have the stickers on there to get it. But total, 307 versus 311. Let's look at backspin, 2100 versus 2000. I mean, again, you've basically got the benchmark of the launch monitor world right here. And you got one that's roughly half the cost, reading the exact same. Crazy, huh? Both good units. I love them. I think your club data on this one might be more dependable a little bit, but again, I'm going to do a club data one for you guys on a separate video. This unit's super duper good too. But again, I think for teaching purposes, if I'm fitting people and people are paying me, I need to go with this unit for club data. Alright, so I'm off yard. So I'm offline of 14 yards on the IXO versus 12 yards offline left on the GC Quad. It's a center strike, very good strike, so they read really, really good. If I start mishitting it a little bit, there'll be a little bit of differences. I usually don't carry the ball 288 yards, by the way. Once that spin starts getting below 2200 RPMs, these things start exaggerating a little bit of carry, I think. I typically carry the ball about 270 when I hit it good. So, anyway, makes me feel good when I see those numbers though, right? I hit that one really good. A little bit of a fade. I like that shot. I like hitting the little fades over the draws. I seem to lose my draws to the left a little bit too quick, but I really like that shot. So 288 carry versus 278, difference of 10 yards. Again, the GC Quad reads a little bit further. But overall, very, very close. Side total 13 versus 8 yards. So we're only all 5 yards, 300 yards down the fairway on direction. Backspin 2155 versus 2255. Side spin 137 versus 198. So again, very identical shots with a driver with these two units. Get that off the toe, kind of weird. That felt like a draw swing, but look at them. Both of them are reading fades. Let's see how close they are to each other. So, right 17 yards on the IXO, offline 27 yards on the Quad. So it's definitely showing more spin to the right. If I had to choose which one's right here, again, most people say, hey, the GC Quad's right, but I feel like the IXO is a little bit more right here. I don't feel like I hit it that far to the right, but again, look, launch angle's 14 versus 12, a little bit difference there. Carry 274 versus 282, difference of 6 yards, nothing major. Backspin 24 versus 2300, so man, I mean, really, all in all, super close. I'm going to hit one more for you guys. Hit that one more in the center. But again, another push right. I was hitting draws in the beginning and now I'm hitting fades, right? 277 versus 283. I mean, a difference of 6 yards. Nothing major. Right 29 yards versus 26 yards. Now we got a closer comparison there. I mean, they were very, very close. 2400 backspin versus 2400 backspin. Ball speed 159 versus 158. Again, so we got two very close outcomes with two completely different units. One on the floor, one on the ceiling. Again, when I say completely different, they're just two brands, right? They both use camera technology, so again, super duper close, and I hope this helps you guys. I mean, if you can see throughout the bag, if you watch my irons, super close. And again, I'm not surprised to see a little bit of separation with the faster ball speeds and club speeds. Every unit changes once you get to drivers. That's where you see the biggest differences, but I wanted to showcase to you today how close that these two read. And I just want you to remember my IXO unit is a little bit lower than it should be. It's not recommended, and that's probably why I get a few misreads here and there. But again, if you have any questions, please comment, subscribe. I'll post other videos if you guys want them. But again, I hope this helps you pick a unit if you're choosing between them. Again, I think the IXO is a very, very good unit. It integrates with pretty much all the software out there. Also, it is you can play any games for entertainment. You can teach yourself, get better, teach your kids, and have your buddies over and they can get better. The GC Quad, I think, is more for the teaching pro, the one that's actually teaching and getting paid for. It's a little bit, I think, more accurate when it comes to club data. I think the ball data is a little bit more reliable. Again, I think both of them exaggerate the carry distance with your longer clubs like your 3-wood and drivers, especially if the spin gets below 2,200 RPMs, especially below 2,000 RPMs. But again, all in all, a great unit, super duper accurate, and you can't go wrong with either. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you subscribe, like the page, and again, if you have any questions or comments and need help picking what monitor is right for you, just send me some comments below, and yeah, just keep tuning in. We'll have more content. Thanks.